thrilled today because as we celebrate Black History Month, I'm so excited to give some shout outs today because my mentors have been profound in disseminating information and supporting and paying it forward to many, many, many of us. And many of us, when we decided to go back to school, yes, there were some challenges with APA. And I can recall Dr. Susan Musker having boot camps for many, many of us those days, quite a few years ago. But the selflessness that she displayed was just phenomenal. And I just want to give her a shout out today on my platform. And those of us who knew her, who went to Mercy University for our masters, remember. And you know what's interesting? The fact that some of us, like Dr. McGregor, Valerie, and we were in that group, and Loy and Loris, you know, Edwards, we had some good time because we were like some of the more senior ones with the young people that were pursuing further education. That never deterred us anyway. We did pursue and accomplish our goals. So thank God for that. So right now, I just want to acknowledge some of our trailblazers and some of those who have really contributed to our success. And I'm going to call some names. I don't plan to get into any trouble, but I just want to call some names from Mercy, like Karen. Karen, yes, Karen, we appreciate you and your husband. Dr. Varghese, statistics, right? It was just so interesting. And the students we had and the opportunities we had to just improve on ourselves. And we are so grateful for that. So I want to give a shout out to those who help us in those areas. I also want to shout out to those who help us in the community, you know, the IT persons. Wow. I remember Frank. Wow. It was interesting. And many times, some of the seniors are more, they will give, like myself, so much of the structure, information, the skills, share that, and so forth. But to move as fast with the technology, it can be a little challenging. But after practicing, you're able to identify it. And I was talking to one of my former colleagues. We were talking about when we were at Mercy and when, you know, you're able to identify certain things now that you wouldn't have because education has helped and it has helped tremendously. You're able to spot certain things, take up a paper, you're able, wow, wow, look at your reference or look at, we are able to. And I just thank the Lord for that because we're able to help someone else. So of that, I'm so grateful. I want to thank also, you know, of Dr. Dr. Edwards, Dr. Pauline Edwards. She's a trailblazer also in her own right. And she continues to share and paying it forward. That's one of her terminologies all the time, to paying it forward. I want to acknowledge her on this platform. I want to acknowledge Katie Floyd also, Dawn. I just want to acknowledge you all for being so supportive during those times in pursuing different areas of nursing and contributing in so many ways. Nurses on labor and delivery, nurses on postpartum, nurses in NICU, you know, and those nurses who were, I remember those days, some of the nurses were so fearful during COVID time, and you can recall us, and you're saying to Miriam XYZ in terms of the COVID, and yet we had to pull through. We had to fight through. remembering when we just had to clean down some ventilators, back off the lab coat, clean down ventilator for another patient to go on, working as a team, the interprofessional team, the respiratory therapists, the social workers, the different disciplines, pooling our resources together to save lives. And some made it and some succumbed. But when we look back, when we reflect, we have come far. So I just want to give a shout out to all those who, the interprofessional team, who worked tirelessly for the saving of lives during the COVID time and risked their lives and their families' lives to help others, to help humanity. So that's shout out. But now I'll come to celebrating Black nurses. And you might be asking, who am I? So I'm Dr. Miriam Smith, the host for Empowering New Nurses. You see, I worked as a nurse educator for many years, and I've seen where we have had new nurses coming on, coming from the school, coming from a different setting. And these nurses, believe it, some of them, well, they're new, so the expectations are different. Orientating them, sensing their apprehension, their fears, and some might be wondering at an orientation already if they made the right choice, you know, and the encouragements will be given. And so I want to say I'm so proud of many of those who have orientated, who have gone and have done exceptionally well. Some have been nurse practitioners, and they advance in different areas of nursing, of which I'm so happy I've been a part. I was blessed to be a part of their lives. So as we celebrate, you might be asking again, who am I? So I've been a nurse educator for many years. I've written a book. I'm an Amazon bestseller. The book entitles Nurse, The Guide to Empower New Nurses in Delivery of High Quality Care to All Patients. That's what that has been. And so I'm ever grateful to have been given the opportunity to write that book. The reason why, because of my interaction and because I've seen some gaps, and I say my experience along with others, along with what I've researched, I've put it together, and I've got some good reports. And if you look on Amazon, Dr. Miriam Amanda Smith, Empower New Nurses, you will see some of the comments, and you can obtain your copy and also make your comments as you read. So I am one of those who advocate for excellence in nursing care. And I know there are many questions today, because you might be asking if the ratio is not 1:4 or is not 1:2 in the ICU, depending on the acuity of the patient. You might be saying, wow, what is she talking about? But we still advocating for the best care for our patients, regardless of their sexual orientation, their color, their creed, their education, their culture, and the list goes on. As human beings, we need to care for everyone with dignity and respect. So, as we celebrate Black History Month, of which I was recruited here in 1986, check the math, quite a few years, right? And I was supposed to be here for 1 year. What has happened? I'm here still. Of course, I've revisited and I've visited my home country, but I'm living here for, do the math, almost 40 years. So I just want to share something about Black nurses right now. And what is it saying? A matter of fact, I researched something and I really want to share this, because I decided that I would do a devotional for my nurses. I was impressed in June 25, to write something, a devotional for my nurses. I decided I have like 5 themes, Small book. It's not as big as the one that I had before. But I was just impressed because I know for sure from my personal experience and the experience of others that nurses undergo or encounter many situations that cause them to be so overwhelmed at times. And so I know some going to be Christians, some not going to be, whatever you choose to be or whatever they choose to be. However, from my encounter with the Lord, I know that He answers prayer, and I believe in prayer. And I know many patients believe in prayer, and many co-workers do too. So for those who have the interest and those who might just think about it, I know that every nurse carries more than a stethoscope around their neck. Nurses, we carry stories, sacrifices, and strength passed down from generation, from those trailblazers to this generation, and it continues. So Black nurses and midwives have long served as healers, advocates, and leaders, often in spaces where they were unseen, but never, they were unseen, but never insignificant. As a new nurse, you may feel unprepared or overwhelmed, but remember, your presence is purposeful. You have a right to be there. Your voice matters, okay? Your excellence is not accidental. You are part of a living legacy, one that blends skill with compassion and service with dignity. So, because you have a right to be here, we honor you. We honor you for your sacrifice. We honor you for your hard work. And I just want to let you know, as I breathe this little prayer, God, thank you for the legacy of nurses whose courage opened doors we now walk through. Strengthen every new nurse to serve with wisdom, humility, and confidence. May their hands bring healing, and may their lives bring honor to you as they visit their patients. As you young nurses and older ones visit your patients, just remember, it's a calling. It's not just a job. You're doing a sacred work. I just want you to remember that. If you don't even think so. You are meeting people at their most vulnerable state, position. What they would have normally be doing for themselves, you are doing it many times for them. And I know for sure, not every patient will be grateful, but you take it with a grain of salt and you keep going. And so I just want to thank you on this line, on my powerful winds, empowering new nurses. I just want to thank you and you. And you're going to share this with someone because you have a right to be here like everybody else. And you have a right to provide excellent care to every human being. Remember, it's not just a job, it's a calling. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend as you watch Super Bowl. All right? I'm Dr. Miriam Smith, the host for Empowering New Nurses. Okay, go on YouTube. Remember, purposefully, intentionally subscribe and share it with your friends. Look forward to seeing you again. Be blessed.